Hey, it's something to talk about.
Good morning.
And we're always here. Every week we are here with something to talk about.
I don't know how we come up with things, but we do. We always manage to come up with something.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's pre-planned. And sometimes it's kind of last minute. We say, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk? Well, we'll just let the cameras roll and we'll start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, just a few moments ago before we went live, we were talking about drinking coffee and caffeine and drinks that have caffeine and whether it gives you the jitters or whether it calms you down. And Mark, our dear producer and owner of KVGI Media, he was sitting there trying the newest version of Mountain Dew, and it has lots of caffeine, and so he's checking it out. I mean, I'm a coffee drinker, and I love my caffeine. And I'm one of those people that I can have at 10 o'clock at night, have a nice cup of hot black coffee with caffeine, not caffeine free, and go to sleep. Other people will say, "Oh, I cannot have a cup of coffee or tea after 4 o'clock because I'll be up all night." How does it work with you, Vaughn?
Well, I'm a coffee drinker, as you know, and I used to drink more, but I've cut myself back to 2 cups in the morning. And I usually stop then, but on a cooler day, I might have a cup in the afternoon. Sometimes it affects me. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I can't explain it. Sometimes I'll have a cup late in the afternoon and I find that I can't fall asleep, and other times I can. So maybe it's just not just the caffeine, but kind of your mood at the time too. I don't know. But now a Diet Coke will give me more of a, because I don't drink it very often. I don't drink Diet Coke very often. So a Diet Coke tends to keep me awake more than a cup of coffee.
Really? And that doesn't have caffeine in it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, well, you're right. Yeah, Diet Coke, it does that. It has artificial sugar in it. That's right. It still has the caffeine.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I get my caffeine with coffee in the morning and with chocolate at night.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it, and I can have a nice Hershey bar in the evening and still go to bed and out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm actually just really not a big sweet. Like, if I'm going to want a snack before bedtime, it's going to be a salty bowl of popcorn. Not, I mean, I like chocolate. I wouldn't refuse it if someone would offer me a Snickers or something.
A salty bowl of popcorn makes you thirsty, and you have to have that Diet Coke.
Right. If you give a mouse a cookie.
We want to remind our listeners that one of our very, very favorite sponsors is Irving Chung, who is from BigConsideration.com. He is a franchise consultant. And folks, if you've ever thought in your wildest dreams that you could own a franchise, but no, it costs too much, you need to call Irving. You can contact him at bigconsideration.com. You can have a free consultation and he can show you that if you've ever even thought about having a franchise, you may be able to get into a franchise on a part-time basis for very little out of pocket. Set it up, get it going, and start making lots of money. So contact Irving Chung, bigconsideration.com. Great guy. Great. And he, by the way, he's a franchisee also. He has the franchise for the Cycle Bar franchises around the DFW area. He's an avid stationary bicyclist and very, very good at it. Leads classes all the time.
I love spin classes.
Yep. It's
my favorite.
My whole life has been a spinning class.
Yeah.
I've been spinning my wheels for years and still haven't gotten any place important.
Well, I don't know. It got you all the way to this radio show.
Yeah. And now just talking about spinning, because again, we had nothing really pre-planned, but it used to be you'd sit in a big room and somebody would be up in the front and they'd be talking to you and you'd be spinning. And that was, look who's visiting. Isn't this Rocky?
Yeah, this is Rocky.
That's Rocky. That's your kitty cat.
Yeah.
Because
It, it just it
is the
never
other one
fails.
still with you?
Rook is still with us. Yep. It just never fails. Whenever I turn the computer on, one of them like to
Wants
join.
to come over and visit. Hey, Rocky.
Hey, Stuart.
Hello, Rocky.
He's getting a little camera shy.
Love his eyes.
He's a sweetie.
But today now what you can do is they've got these cycles that you have a monitor in front of you and you can program it to like ride through the Pyrenees mountains.
Yeah.
Or if you want to ride along the seashore, in North Carolina, right on the grass, and you kind of remove yourself from where you are and put yourself in a far off place. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Those Peloton bikes are really, popular. I would love to have one myself, but I think you can do that. You can either put yourself maybe somewhere on a trail or somewhere, but you also have instructors, right there on the screen. So it's like you're in a class. It's pretty cool. They're expensive. They're not cheap. Those Pelotons. What do you think? The 2,000, 3,000?
I don't even know. But I mean, for somebody, look at it this way: it's a great investment because if somebody instead of having to pack up a bag and get in the car and drive over to a club in order to do it, if you can just get up in the bedroom and go into the family room and get on your bike and ride for an hour or two, it's a great investment.
Yeah, it is definitely gym memberships and all that. The cost of all that. And
yeah,
I'm curious. I'm Googling how much a Peloton bike is, and
see, we have our very 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 informed staff right here working on getting the answers to our questions.
Yeah, they're about $2,000, maybe 2,500.
Okay, well, that's about the cost of a treadmill, or see now that to me that's a cost of a nice hot tub in the backyard.
I know. Exactly.
So, let's see. Do I want to get on a bike and pedal it, or do I want to just
sit in the hot tub?
Hot tub,
with your cup of coffee and a chocolate bar.
That's right. There you go. A cup of coffee in the hot tub in the morning and a nice chocolate bar in the evening.
Exactly.
Hey, Lauren, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
We're buying a hot tub.
Something tells me Lauren would be okay with that.
I think she might be okay with it. I know she's okay. She's not a coffee drinker, but I could probably convince her to share a chocolate bar with me in the hot tub at night.
Well, I have to ask you, what's your favorite chocolate bar?
My favorite chocolate bar, Hershey with almonds.
Okay, I like that too, but my favorite is Snickers.
Yeah, Snickers is a good one. In fact, one of my very all-time favorite candy bars was Payday, and that has no chocolate.
Oh yeah, that's like a nougat, right?
It's a nougat with salty peanuts around it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, that's a good one.
And that's a good one, and that way you don't get to me, that's less calories because it has no chocolate.
Well, there's chocolate on the outside, right?
Nope. Payday, there's no chocolate.
Oh, Payday. Okay, all right. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
now, there's probably another bar that's like a Payday that has chocolate on it and it's got another name, but
we should talk chocolate bars on one of our shows.
Yeah, we could, because just walk down the candy aisle sometime in the store. I cannot believe how many different kinds of candy that there are. In fact, if you go to a place like Sprouts, because Sprouts, I love going to Sprouts because you can buy so much by the scoop.
By the scoop.
Yeah, by the scoop. You just walk up and down those aisles and they got the the gummy bears. Oh, I'll take a scoop of gummy.
Yeah.
And I like my chocolate covered almonds, which is a variant of the Hershey with almonds. But you can get your sesame sticks and you can get your sunflower seeds by the scoop, and it's fun. They used to have a place down in Florida, and the name of the shop was called By the Way, Weigh.
Wait, W-E, oh, okay, yeah.
By the way.
And it was by B-U-Y?
By the way, and you would go in and you'd get little bags and you'd just put a scoop of this and a scoop of that, and it was all like one price, like $8.95 a pound or something like that. And you'd go through and you just get all these scoops of stuff, and you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then you go check out, and it's $43.50.
Yeah.
So whoa, I can't believe it.
Yeah. That's actually a cute name for a store.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, that's really cute.
We'll have to do, well, we can do a show about.
I think we should. I think we should, because I have a lot to say about chocolate. Like, I have to be honest with you, if you just want chocolate, just chocolate, and not like a candy bar with all the other little whatever, Dove, in my opinion, there's no better milky chocolate than Dove. It's got to be the best chocolate out there, I think.
And obviously the Belgian chocolatiers and all that. If you ever go to Italy or France and all, you go into the chocolate shops and all, you buy the chocolate by the percentage of cocoa that's in the chocolate. So you can actually buy, you can buy chocolate bars at I think at Sprouts that are 50% cocoa, 70% cocoa, 90%. And I mean, when you get up to 90% cocoa in the chocolate, it's almost borderline bitter, but that's good for cooking. And all, but for snacking, it's pretty hard to eat pure chocolate bars.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to. Have you ever had a Toblerone bar?
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah.
I can go on and on about chocolate bars.
Yeah, especially in the evening in a hot tub. Boy, that would be really nice. Just could bring out a little tray of that's what you need to do, like at an all-inclusive resort. Just go down by the shore or sit around the pool or the hot tub in the evening or something, and have somebody bring you a tray of assorted chocolates.
Yes, yeah.
It's like died and gone to heaven.
My mom, it has got the biggest sweet tooth of anybody I know. Can sit down and eat a whole snack bag of the individually wrapped Reese's peanut butter cups in one sitting.
Oh,
yeah.
The little mini Reese's.
Yep. She just has a sweet tooth, and when she gets one, watch out.
See, and I like to take my Hershey's with almonds and all, then take out that jar of peanut butter, slather the top of it, and do it that way.
Yeah.
Create your own.
You could do that. You could do it that way. We could do a whole show on chocolate. We should do that. That
sounds pretty good. And then we'll all have to go on a diet afterwards.
And buy a Peloton bike. See how I brought that full circle?
Yes. Or eat our chocolates while we're on the Peloton.
It's a new concept.
Yes. Yeah, the chocolate Peloton. We could come up with a new brand for Peloton.
Yeah, it's the candy ride.
Yes, a stationary bike that dispenses chocolate.
Yeah, each mile with each mile you get a chocolate.
Yeah, and you don't have a water bottle holder. You've got a chocolate milk holder.
Right,
with a straw that goes directly, so you can infuse it.
Well, it's like those hats that you wear to football games. That the hat with the straws that go in.
Yeah, it's got the bottles on the side.
Yeah. That's what we'll wear. You and I wear one of those on our next. I'm sure our sponsor's loving this conversation we're having, since he owns the cycle bars. All over Frisco.
Yeah, do your session and then go get a chocolate bar over there on the table, and sign up for another session.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe we don't need to do a show on this. We've kind of talked about it now.
Yeah. Well, no, I think we should, because you know what, you can never get too much chocolate. and you know what, the other thing that I've realized over the years. Have you ever seen chocolate get recalled?
No, I don't think so.
Yep. they'll recall vegetables, and they'll recall fruits, and they'll recall fish and beef and all that. You never see a recall on chocolate
Why do you think that is?
because they can't mess it up, I guess.
Or I don't know. Or maybe we've been eating bad chocolate and we don't even know it.
Or if there's anything bad that's in the chocolate eats it up before they make it into that bar.
Yeah, I guess they make it at that bar. Well,
you know, we're talking a little bit about eating and everything, but I guess one of the things that was in the news that I just wanted to get your opinion of is, we may be heading back to remasking again, because now with this Delta variant that's out there, the press is starting to grow a little bit more about the kids are getting ready to go back to school. And earlier in the summer, it was like people were getting vaccinated. The masks were coming off. People were kind of getting back to where we were before COVID. The Delta variant started in one state and 2 states, and now it is reported to have raised its ugly head in all 50 states. So the medical authorities told us a year ago, don't be too complacent, because by fall of 21, there could be a resurge of the pandemic again, and we have to be prepared for it. And nobody wants to. Everybody's starting to get real happy about being out there in restaurants and venues and concerts without the mask on. But now they're talking that they may have to institute mask wearing again. Maybe in the schools. I think they already indicated maybe that the grade schoolers were going to go back to school wearing masks. That previously they didn't think, because they're not being vaccinated. It was just age 12 and up.
yeah.
But that possibly the elementary school kids might have to go back wearing masks again. Yeah. Who do you believe? What do you follow? How is everybody starting to feel about this again? To be given the opportunity to go to the grocery store without a mask on, or walk in with a mask and then take it off, and to know that, oops, we might, even if you've had your shots, they're even saying with the Delta variant, even if you've had your vaccine, you may have to start thinking about putting that mask back on. How do you feel about it?
I think like I'm listening to you, and I mean, I have lots of thoughts, because obviously if it keeps it from spreading, and if it really is as serious as they say that it is, and I have no reason to believe that it's not. I mean, I can only believe. I don't know. I don't. Do I want to see us all go back in masks again? No. And I've got still a college age, young adult, and I don't want to see her experience in college be like it was last year. So that's extremely disappointing and very frustrating. I mean, these students in particular, I feel really just badly for, because, if you're a senior in high school, if you're a freshman in college, or one of those kind of significant, timely years, it's like, so no, I don't know what to say other than just our school has already said that we're not doing masks, but that was before all this Delta variant stuff kind of, got bad again. And I have another friend whose daughter goes to school in California, and, California is just really, really strict. And so they're thinking of transferring schools to be here in Texas, where it's just not as strict. Because, her college experience has just been really bad, and, they're all vaccinated and they're careful and they follow the rules. But I think she's trying to get her young adult to a place that's just a little bit more normal. I mean, it's not completely normal here in Texas, of course, but it's a little bit more normal. And I think she's just trying to give her at least that. And California, you can't get that. I mean, they're still very, very shut down out there. And this is a long time, Stuart. This is 2 what are we going on 2 years? I mean, this is a long time, and it's trying on everybody. So I mean, you can ask the question and people can give you answers to the best of their knowledge, but it's very difficult to not have your emotions come into play when you're talking about this topic. It's very unbelievable to me, quite frankly.
Well, and part of it is, yes, we're all tired of wearing the masks, but how far do you go to say I'm tired I'm tired of having to wear a mask, so I'm not going to, and putting yourself at any degree of medical risk, uh, to the point now where what's bothering me most about this whole controversy is that there are a lot of mayors and there are governors around the country that are saying, look, if I mandate mask wearing again for my city or my state and everything, there's going to be a riot at City Hall or at the at the state capitals. So some of the mayors and the governors are saying, you know what? I'm not going to make a ruling that everybody's got to wear a mask. I just want it to be voluntary. So now what you're doing is saying, I'm not going to take any responsibility if something goes wrong. I'm just going to throw it out there and let the individual corporations, let individual businesses, let the individual school districts all make their own determination as to what they want to do. And that, to me, that almost maybe be creating a bigger problem than saying, look, if it's going to affect the people in this city or in this state and all, if we put the masks on for 30 days, maybe we can just stop this whole thing. But the thing I sense is that the governors and the mayors of the major cities don't want to put themselves out there to do that. They want to leave it in the hands of the people. The VA is the first major department in this country that has said that all doctors and all major people within the Veterans Administration, if they have not been vaccinated and all, they will wear a mask, and they're even want people that have been vaccinated, if they are in a position of dealing with the public on a regular basis, to be masked up. So the Veterans Administration is the first major agency that's going forward and saying we want to make sure that we're not putting anybody at risk. And that's what it's all about. It's about risk. You know, if you are fine with going into that grocery store and going up and down all the aisles and passing, 100 people, and you're comfortable with saying, hey, if I get sick, I get sick. I guess the answer is go for it. But if you want to look at me and think I look funny because I'm wearing my mask to protect myself, I'm not only doing it to protect me, I'm doing it to protect other people. I guess you gotta look at me and say, I guess I'm welcome to my opinion too.
Right. Yeah. I
And
think it's very fair. I mean, I'm not wearing a mask right now unless I am told that I have to. Just because I'm following the rules, and I'm trusting that is a safe practice right now.
yeah,
And I see other people wearing their mask, and I could care less if they feel more comfortable wearing a mask for whatever reason, wear it. I mean, I still see people driving in their cars by themselves in the car, windows up, wearing a mask. I don't get that, but that person, I think to myself, that person must have just a level of fear, or maybe they're ill. I don't know their circumstances, but I don't get it, but I don't care. It's not going to affect me.
and it may be that they've had 2 or 3 people within their family that tested positive for it.
I mean, so I don't want to see us all go back to mandatory masks. I don't want to see it. I don't want to have to do it again. I'm not comfortable wearing a mask. I wear it because I'm like you, I want other people around me. First of all, I respect the rule or the rules. But also, if it's going to make other people around me feel more comfortable, or if it's protecting me in any way, fine, I'll wear the mask. Do I want to wear a mask? No. I don't think anybody wants to wear a mask. Oh yeah, I really want to wear a mask. I mean, so no, I don't want to see us go back to that. But if it, and again, I don't know. Like I remember in California, they were all wearing masks. They were on the strictest lockdown, and all of that. And they had like some of the highest numbers way back when we were, counting all the COVID cases. So I don't know how much of it. So I don't want to just do the mask just because but yes, I understand wearing a mask does prevent certain sprays and spittles and whatever.
Right.
I do think though that I know that you were saying that, the governor or like whoever should kind of make the decision for us. I agree with you, but then also I don't, because I get very uncomfortable when I start to feel like everything is like federally mandated and like that starts to make me just feel like we're all losing our voices and we're losing control. Like I just get a little bit nervous, but I get it. I understand what you're saying. But then also I just am like a little bit like, we are still the people.
All right. So let me pose this question to you. The governor of any particular state and all says, I'm not going to have a mask mandate. I'm not going to require people to wear a mask. But the medical community is saying in your state, the number of cases is growing exponentially every week. We are getting closer to a crisis mode again. For the sake of slowing down this epidemic again, please wear a mask. All right, now you're faced with, okay, the political side or the government says you don't have to, they're not going to require it. The medical community is strongly suggesting that you do. Who do you follow? Who is more important in your head to say, all right, I'm going to follow the advice of the medical community, or I'm just going to follow the advice of the wait and see community? Is that the best? Is that the best that we should do for the public? Which do you said? If the medical community comes on and says, listen, we just had a 50% spike in the number of cases, the hospitals are filling up again, and we're trying to treat this disease as quickly as we can, and we urge everybody when you are out in public to wear a mask. Is that strong enough for Vaughn to say, okay, I'm going to go along with that? Or because the governor of my state or the mayor of my city says, let's wait and see. I think it's too early to make that determination. So if you want to wear it, fine, but you don't have to. Which way are you going to go?
I mean, it's a tough question for me to answer. I think if I heard and believed that the entire medical community was on the same page, then that would be a no-brainer for me. But I didn't find that to be the case, even during like COVID, before the Delta variant and all that, even back with the COVID, because I talked to people within the medical community and they had differing opinions, even amongst themselves. So I can't just say the medical community is saying this, because I don't think as a whole that they're even on the same page. I went to the local emergency, like one of those care places here, a couple times over the past, couple years here, year and a half, whatever, for COVID tests and whatnot. And even amongst themselves, they were kind of rolling their eyes, and we're talking doctors, nurses, about some of the things that were being reported and their personal, or I should say professional, actual experience. So I can't answer the question, because I guess I could say this. If as a whole, the medical community was telling me to wear a mask and they were all on the same page and there were facts to back it up, it would be a no-brainer for me. I'd wear the mask. I don't watch the news. You know that. I don't listen. I don't think the news is news anymore. Sorry. I just find it all so dramatic and just political and biased and
one way or the other. Yeah.
a very small representation, in my opinion, of what is actually going on in the world around us, whatever. That's another show. So I sit here today and I don't know. I will wear my mask if I'm told to wear my mask. It's that simple. I'm going to follow the rules. I don't want to, and I don't really know exactly what it's going to do, other than I do believe that masks prevent certain spreads of anything, really. A common cold, for goodness sakes.
Exactly. Exactly. You could be sitting at a table next to somebody else that all of a sudden turns in your direction and sneezes.
Yeah.
And you probably have as much or a greater risk of getting a bad cold from that occurrence as you do from somebody that maybe spreading COVID. It's a tough dilemma because on many levels, if you go to a restaurant and the owner of that restaurant has a sign on the front door that says, "Please wear a mask when entering this restaurant." You have the choice of going back to the car and getting your mask and coming in and wearing the mask in. And when you order, you have your mask on. And when your food is served, you take your mask off. But as the owner of the restaurant, am I sitting there wondering, man, if I put that sign on the front door that says you have to wear a mask to walk through the door, are people going to turn around and say, heck with it, we'll go someplace else for dinner? And now that restaurateur is going to lose revenue.
Yeah.
This is such a complex issue. And just at a time that we're all starting to feel a little bit better about recovery, that we have been through this very, very difficult time in our lives of dealing with this. Now we are faced with the possibility of turning around and going in the, backstepping in that direction. It's becoming more critical for people to make that decision. And again, maybe it just boils down to it being an individual decision. And I was at a grocery store yesterday, and I'm fairly conscious of it. I would venture to say maybe 20% of the people that were in the store were wearing masks. And included in that 20% were the people working in the store. Those, especially like in the meat departments, the butcher departments, the fresh produce, they were all masked and all. But as you went up and down the aisles, it was, 1 or 2 out of 10 people you would pass were wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Now, was I uncomfortable with that? Mildly. I have a tendency, what I do is if I see that there are a row, a bunch of people that are not masked, maybe I'll go back down the next row, come back up this way again. And I will admit, I was not wearing a mask when I was grocery shopping. But the more of the reports come out and say that it's starting to grow, now is it going to be up to me to put my mask back on, or is it going to be up to the grocer to say, you must wear the mask in order to come into the store?
I don't, mind the employees. I've had the same experience as you in the grocery store, and I agree with that percentage of people wearing masks. I do think, pardon me, that those employees who are handling food, in the deli or in the butcher section or wherever, sushi, cheese, wherever they are, I very much appreciate, those employees wearing masks. Also, I'll be honest with you, I'm still very much in support of waiters, wait staff wearing masks, because again, they're handling your food. Yeah. So, but I've had also a lot of employees, if they're just working the cash register or sacking your, groceries or whatever, that are not wearing masks, and I'm okay with that. I haven't been wearing a mask since we were told we didn't have to, unless there's a mandated sign. I was in a medical professional building the other day, and it didn't even occur to me, because I haven't been wearing it now, so I'm a little out of habit. It didn't even occur to me. And I walked in, and then I saw the sign, and I said, I'm so sorry, I didn't come with my mask. Do you have? And they have a whole box. I mean, they always, so I just put one of theirs on. But yeah, it was hard the first time around, but if we go back in that direction, it's going to be even harder, I think, because again, the emotional level now is going to come into play. And I think people are just, they're just up to here. I mean, it's just.
Well, the medical side also right now is wrestling with if only 50% of America has been vaccinated. Now they're saying, well, if you've been vaccinated, you may need to get a booster in order to cover you for the Delta variant. The other 50% that haven't been vaccinated say, see, I didn't need to get vaccinated before because now you got the Delta variant. Now they're scrambling around with the vaccines to now make them effective for the Delta variant too. So I'll wait until that vaccine is approved and then I'll get vaccinated. We live in an unprecedented time that we've never been through anything like this in our past when they've had the Ebola outbreak, when there's been salmonella outbreaks. We've dealt with it. This thing is so unpredictable, and case in point, 6 months, probably even less than 6 months, there was no Delta variant. It started, they've traced it as starting in India, and somebody got on a plane in India and landed in the United States someplace, and somehow it started to spread the Delta variant, and it was isolated to 1 or 2 states. And now, as I said at the top of the show, it's in all 50 states. There's been at least 1 case of Delta variant reported.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore about it. It's just, it is.
It's tough for us to talk about, just the two of us, but for the general public, it's equally as tough to talk about it because again, if you get into a discussion with some people and you say, so one says, I'm not putting a mask on for nothing. Well, then excuse me, but maybe you should leave my house because I want to feel more comfortable that anybody walks into my house. We've had workers in our home over the last couple of weeks doing some landscaping outside and doing some work in the house. Lauren is very, very emphatic about the fact that if you have had your vaccinations and everything, okay, but I would appreciate it if you would leave the mask on.
Yeah.
But we are in that senior category, so we are at the most at risk group of people too. The young people were the ones that were out partying and down on the beaches and spring break and everything, and all of a sudden afterward you found out that there was a big spike in growth of the COVID occurrences and visits to the hospital because the young people were not getting vaccinated because they didn't have to be vaccinated at that point. Now it's 12 years old and above. They've slowed down with the amount of vaccinations that they're giving. You used to have to register with 20 different agencies just to get the vaccine. Now a lot of those agencies have closed their doors. The speedways and the outdoor venues where people would drive up to get them, those are little by little were closing, and you had to go to pharmacies and everything to get the vaccinations. Well, I hope we can continue that way, and I hope people will continue to take advantage of it. For gosh sake, it's a free program, so it's not like I don't have the $100 for the shots to get the shots, but little by little, are they going to have to start opening up those clinics and everything for more people to get vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually know the number that you threw out earlier, 50% of the country.
Yeah, I think that we were really aggressive there at getting people vaccinated. It was, a million a month or so, or a million a week were getting vaccinated. Then it all, when the mandates opened up a little bit, it started to slow up, and people weren't taking advantage of it. Now it seems like it may be growing again. It's going to be a personal choice, but me personally, I would encourage people to look at both sides and try and learn both sides. Listen to the medical side, listen to the opposite viewpoint, and make your own decision. If you spend a lot of time out in public and with people and all, you may lean more toward wearing a mask. If you spend most of your time indoors and you go out and pick up fast food and bring it home, maybe you don't need to. Another area that's being severely affected is the churches and synagogues around the country. They've been closed. They've been doing uh, their services virtually for the last year and a half. They were absolutely thrilled about being able to open, and a lot of them are opening. They've got the seats spread apart. There is social distancing. Families can sit in one row, and then maybe there's two rows missing before you can sit in the next row. And people are being cognizant of it, and they're being very, very courteous about it. But there's a lot of people that still won't step into the churches yet. They don't feel comfortable, so they're still following services in streaming. Well, if the variant grows again, it's going to go back to virtual only again, and the churches and synagogues will have to close their doors to open services. We don't know. We know where it's been, but we don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, and again, it's been so inconsistent just across the country. This state's doing it this way, this state's doing it that way. I was on a plane not just a couple weeks ago, packed in there, and they were very, very strict about the masks. Like, got on, and I've flown multiple times during this whole thing.
right.
And this particular flight was so strict, just really throwing out some warnings. And if your mask is even below your nose, we are going to make sure that if you are asleep, we will wake you. Somebody was fined the other day $100,000 because they would. I mean, the guy was like really going off. I mean, he was really. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, my gosh, I get it. I wear my mask on the plane, but then I'm like, did you go into the airport? Because we were
Right.
all together in the restaurant, in the gift shop, in the seat waiting area,
In the
in the
bathrooms.
restaurant. Like, it's like, so we're all doing that in the airport, but then we get on the plane, and by golly, it was like a totally different set of rules. I get it because closer confined, but if you've been into an airport restaurant, it's small. We're all in there together. Nobody's got their mask on. Walking through security, nobody has their mask on. Everybody's running around the airport. I've been to the mall. People are running around. People are in stores. No one's got a mask. Restaurants, same thing. But then you get on the plane. To me, it's like I don't get it, because it's like, if it's that severe, and I believe that the rules are so all over the place that it's hard for me to grasp what is the real, what's the danger, what's the real story, what's dangerous, what's not, because I believe that it's all real. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, why is it okay here and it's not okay there? I'm confused.
That's why what I said earlier was the fact that the authorities don't really want to make a hard and fast determination, because we got so many, options here, and who's going to do it, who isn't going to do it, who's going to say it's against my personal rights for you to tell me that I can or I can't. I think there's only one solution, Vaughn. I think we need to go out and just buy a box of chocolate and come home and sit down, have your Mountain Dew or your Diet Coke and everything, and a couple of chocolate bars, and think about it, and then make your own decisions.
Yep.
And the other decision, of course, is to come back next week and have another conversation with us on something to talk
I
about.
think that's a great plan, Stuart.
Is that a good plan?
It's a good plan. Works
All
for
right.
me.
We'll go with it, and I hope all of you will go with it too, and come back and join us again next week. Okay.
Sounds
Until
good.
then, be well.
Bye.
Bye.